Hey everyone, welcome, I'm MisterBo, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Rise of Iron expansion, which is rumoured to be coming out at the end of this year for Destiny. Now there are a lot of new games coming out this year, and with Destiny being 2 years old now, it's going to need to pull out some stops when it comes to the expansion, and this is going to be my 5 top things that the expansion needs to have in order to bring players back to it. So the first thing that I think this expansion is going to need to have is a challenging raid. I want a raid more in line with what we saw with the Vault of Glass. Now thanks to Kotaku's article, we know we're going to be getting a Fallen themed raid with a twist. As to what that twist is, we don't know at this current time, but I want to see new mechanics introduced into the raid like we saw with the King's Fall raid. I want to see more challenging areas, I want to see more puzzles. Things I liked in King's Fall raid was the jumping puzzle on the Hive ships. I want to see something like that again. Maybe this time make the puzzles non-jumping puzzles, give us some actual stuff to think about, maybe make it random each time. I know something that a lot of people have wanted for a long time is a Sparrow section of the raid. Now that we've seen SRL, we know they can do a lot more with Sparrows, so maybe a sequence in which we have to get away from fallen captains on pikes, or maybe we have to chase people on pikes. I think it would be really cool to see some section of the raid where we get on our Sparrows and have to either chase something or run away from something. Now the second thing is probably the most important thing to a lot of players, and that is an intriguing story that introduces us to more lore that we haven't yet experienced in Destiny. We know that the expansion is probably going to be centered around the Lords of Iron, and there's a lot of interesting lore that comes with that, including the Battle of Six Fronts as well as the Iron Banner. So give us more of that information, give us cutscenes like we saw with the Taken King, but flesh it out a little bit more. The Taken King story was cool to see, but it was kind of your normal story where you have a bad guy and you got to try and stop him. Give us something a little bit more interesting like we saw with the main campaign, but that didn't really offer us too much in the way of storytelling. The third thing is a vast array of new weapons and armor. Maybe introduce some new factions, maybe introduce some new weapon types. We think we're going to be possibly getting some kind of axe or hammer as seen in the poster. Give us some new foundries that will be starting to make weapons. We have Hacker, we have Omolon, and we have Suros. Maybe add some more. Maybe give us a new faction. That would be really cool to see, and give us a load of new exotics. There are a bunch of exotics that we don't have in the game at the moment, which we saw in the Taken King trailer, but if they only introduce those exotics that we already know about, it's going to be kind of a letdown. So introduce us to a whole load new armor and weapon exotics that we haven't seen before, and that introduce some cool ways to play. Of course, along with this, it would be an increase to the level cap. I'm assuming they're going to go to 350. Who knows, they could go a lot higher than that. We'll just have to wait and see. Now the fourth thing I want is to do with the Crucible. Now we can see Lord Saladin on the poster for this expansion, and we know Lord Saladin is connected to the Iron Banner, which is a Crucible event. Now I want to see some new Crucible maps, which I'm sure we'll definitely get with this. I also want to see some new game types. There are some medals in the database that hint towards some new game types that we haven't seen in the game yet. Maybe they could freshen up Iron Banner, giving us some more things in that with game modes, as well as armor. But yeah, I want to see some new game modes that freshen up the gameplay when it comes to multiplayer, like we saw with Rift and Mayhem in Taken King. And then the final fifth thing that I want this expansion to have is a new patrol area. Now I don't believe we're going to be getting a new planet location. Now I know a lot of people want Europa or maybe even Mercury as a new patrol area. I personally think Bungie is going to be saving any new locations for the next game, so I think if we do get a patrol location, it will be on an existing planet. Now there has been a long rumor that there was going to be a second patrol location on Mars, and that there was going to be a Mars raid. Well, we know we're not going to be getting a Mars raid now, so maybe we'll see a new location on Earth like the European Dead Zone. We can see on the poster that he's clearly in the Cosmodrome from the Cosmodrome wall, so maybe we'll get a new section of the Cosmodrome. I've also seen some people speculating that in the poster there's a load of snow, so maybe we'll be getting weather effects, maybe it will just be snowing constantly in the Cosmodrome. That could definitely change things up a lot, but it's still going to be the same location, so introduce us to a new patrol area, if not on a new planet, at least on Earth. And those are the top 5 things that I think this expansion needs to have in order to bring players back. Of course, there's a lot of other things that need doing in order to bring players back who maybe have left it for the meantime. There's a lot of big fixes and a lot of smaller fixes, but these are the 5 main things that I want to see when it comes to the new expansion. Of course, we don't have to wait too long now. It's going to be probably revealed at E3, which is only 2 weeks away, and I'll be sure to keep you guys updated and covered on everything that does come out from PlayStation's press conference, which is probably where a trailer will be revealed. But let me know in the comments below, what are the things that you want to see in the Rise of Iron expansion? Is it maybe something to do with the raid? Is it new exotics? Is it something completely different which I didn't mention in this video? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on that. If you guys missed my previous video, which was an Overwatch video in which I played the weekly brawl, which was arcade, then you can click the image on screen or the link in the description below. Feel free to give the like button a big old hug and subscribe for tons more Destiny content and coverage. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.